Welcome to Diabtron, where we uncover the truth behind common misconceptions. In today's video, we explore the reasons why consuming snow can be hazardous to your health. From airborne pollutants to ground contamination, snow can harbor various harmful substances. Chemical treatments used on roads and sidewalks further contribute to snow's contamination. Join us as we delve into the truth behind common misconceptions. Don't forget to subscribe to Diabtron for more eye-opening content. Snow is created through a process called snowfall, which occurs in the Earth's atmosphere under specific weather conditions. The process involves several key steps. Snow begins to form when tiny ice crystals nucleate around microscopic particles, such as dust, pollen, or pollution, in the atmosphere. These particles serve as nuclei around which water vapor can condense and freeze. As water vapor condenses onto the ice crystals, they grow in size through a process called deposition. Water molecules in the air transition directly from a gas to a solid state, adding layers of ice to the crystal structure. As ice crystals continue to grow, they may collide and stick together in a process known as aggregation. This leads to the formation of larger snowflakes, which can take on a variety of intricate shapes and structures depending on atmospheric conditions. Once snowflakes become heavy enough, they fall to the ground under the influence of gravity. The rate at which snowflakes fall depends on their size, shape, and density, as well as atmospheric conditions such as temperature, humidity, and wind speed. Upon reaching the ground, snowflakes accumulate to form a layer of snow, known as snowpack. Snow can accumulate on various surfaces, including the ground, trees, buildings, and vehicles, depending on local weather conditions. Over time, snow can undergo melting or sublimation, depending on environmental factors such as temperature and humidity. Melting occurs when snow is exposed to temperatures above freezing, causing it to transition from a solid to a liquid state. Sublimation occurs when snow transitions directly from a solid to a gas state, without melting first, typically under conditions of low humidity and intense sunlight. Snow can appear dirty due to various reasons, and consuming it can pose health risks. Here's why snow may be dirty and why it's best not to eat it. Airborne pollutants. Airborne pollutants can accumulate in snow, making it unsafe for consumption. Here's why you should avoid eating snow contaminated with airborne pollutants. Airborne pollutants from industrial activities, such as factories and power plants, can settle onto snow surfaces. These pollutants include particulate matter, heavy metals, and chemicals emitted during manufacturing processes. Ingesting snow contaminated with industrial pollutants can be harmful to your health and may lead to respiratory issues, gastrointestinal problems, and other health complications. Exhaust emissions from vehicles, including cars, trucks, and buses, release pollutants such as nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxide, and volatile organic compounds into the atmosphere. These pollutants can deposit onto snow surfaces and contaminate them. Consuming snow contaminated with vehicle emissions can expose you to harmful chemicals and toxins, which can adversely affect your health. Agricultural activities, such as pesticide and fertilizer application, can contribute to airborne pollutants that settle onto snow. Pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers contain chemicals that can leach into the soil and water, eventually reaching snow-covered areas. Ingesting snow contaminated with agricultural runoff can expose you to potentially harmful chemicals, pesticides, and pathogens. Wildfires release smoke and ash into the atmosphere, containing a mixture of pollutants, including particulate matter, carbon monoxide, and volatile organic compounds. These pollutants can travel long distances and settle onto snow surfaces, contaminating them. Consuming snow contaminated with wildfire smoke residue can expose you to harmful chemicals and toxins, which can have adverse health effects. Urban areas with high population densities and vehicular traffic can experience elevated levels of air pollution. Pollutants from urban areas, such as soot, dust, and smog, can deposit onto snow surfaces, making them unsafe for consumption. Ingesting snow contaminated with urban pollution can pose health risks, particularly for vulnerable populations such as children, the elderly, and individuals with respiratory conditions. Overall, consuming snow contaminated with airborne pollutants can expose you to a variety of harmful chemicals and toxins, increasing the risk of adverse health effects. It's essential to avoid eating snow from areas prone to pollution and to exercise caution when consuming snow in general. Instead, opt for clean, potable water as a safe alternative for hydration. Ground contamination. Ground pollutants can contaminate snow, making it unsafe for consumption. Here's why you should avoid eating snow contaminated with ground pollutants. Snow on the ground can come into contact with animal waste, including feces and urine, from domestic pets, wildlife, and livestock. Animal waste contains harmful bacteria, parasites, and pathogens that can cause gastrointestinal illnesses and other health problems if ingested. Consuming snow contaminated with animal waste can lead to foodborne illnesses and infections. Chemical runoff from roads, lawns, and agricultural fields can contaminate snow on the ground. Road salt, pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers applied to surfaces can leach into the soil and water, eventually reaching snow-covered areas. These chemicals can pose health risks if ingested and may lead to poisoning, toxicity, and other adverse effects on human health. Ground pollutants may include heavy metals such as lead, mercury, cadmium, and arsenic, which can leach into the soil and water from industrial sites, mining activities, and urban runoff. These heavy metals can accumulate in snow on the ground, posing health risks if ingested. Chronic exposure to heavy metals can lead to serious health problems, including neurological damage, kidney damage, and cancer. Snow on the ground may become contaminated with industrial pollutants from nearby factories, manufacturing plants, and industrial sites. Airborne pollutants emitted from industrial activities can settle onto snow surfaces, introducing toxic chemicals and contaminants. Consuming snow contaminated with industrial pollutants can result in adverse health effects, including respiratory issues, skin irritation, and organ damage. Ground pollutants can introduce microbial contaminants, including bacteria, viruses, and fungi, into snow. These microorganisms can thrive in moist environments and may contaminate snow on the ground, particularly in areas with poor sanitation and hygiene practices. Ingesting snow contaminated with microbial pathogens can lead to gastrointestinal infections, respiratory illnesses, and other health problems. Microorganisms. Microorganisms can be present in snow, and consuming snow contaminated with these microorganisms can pose health risks. Here's why you should avoid eating snow that may be contaminated with microorganisms. Snow can harbor various bacteria, including pathogenic strains that can cause foodborne illnesses and gastrointestinal infections. Bacteria such as Escherichia coli, Salmonella, Listeria monocytogenes may be present in snow, particularly if it comes into contact with animal waste or polluted environments. Ingesting snow contaminated with pathogenic bacteria can lead to symptoms such as diarrhea, vomiting, fever, and abdominal cramps. Snow can also contain viruses, including those responsible for respiratory infections, gastrointestinal illnesses, and other viral diseases. Common viruses found in snow may include norovirus, rotavirus, and adenovirus, which can cause symptoms such as nausea, diarrhea, coughing, and fever. Ingesting snow contaminated with viruses can lead to the spread of infectious diseases and illnesses. Fungal spores and molds may be present in snow, particularly in damp and moist environments. While most fungal species found in snow are harmless, some molds can produce toxins known as mycotoxins, which can pose health risks if ingested. Ingesting snow contaminated with fungal toxins can lead to symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, headache, and allergic reactions. Snow can also harbor parasites such as Giardia lamblia and Cryptosporidium spp, which are microscopic organisms that can cause waterborne diseases and gastrointestinal infections. These parasites may contaminate snow through fecal matter from infected animals or humans. Chemical treatments. In urban areas, snow may be treated with chemical deicers or anti-icing agents to melt ice and snow on roads and sidewalks. These chemicals, such as salt and calcium chloride, can dissolve into the snow and make it unsuitable for consumption. Ingesting snow treated with these chemicals can cause gastrointestinal upset and other health problems. Risk of contamination. Due to these potential risks, it's generally not recommended to eat snow, especially if it appears dirty or has come into contact with the ground or other contaminants. If you want to enjoy the novelty of eating snow, it's safer to collect freshly fallen snow from a clean, uncontaminated area, away from sources of pollution and animal activity. Even then, it's essential to exercise caution and use good judgment to minimize the risk of ingesting harmful substances or pathogens. Thank you for watching Diabtron. We hope you found our video on why snow is dirty and must not be eaten informative. As tempting as it may seem, consuming snow can pose serious health risks due to contamination from pollutants, microorganisms, and chemical treatments. Remember, even freshly fallen snow can quickly become contaminated once it comes into contact with the ground or other surfaces. For more health and safety tips, be sure to subscribe to Diabtron.